Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back, students. So today we are going to start our book 1 of 7th standard, and the first chapter that we are going to start is our nutrition in plants. So in this chapter we are going to study about the various modes of nutrition that are in plants. So what we have to do, we have to collect a leaf first, okay? Then we have to paste it here. So it will be your activity, you will do it. Then we will write the how its shape, its color, its texture, and the kind of edge it has. Okay, when you feel hungry, you eat food. Animals too eat food when they feel hungry. All living beings need food to live. As we know that whenever we feel hungry, or whenever a plant or an animal feel hungry, they eat food, right? Because food is very important to live. Plants also need food to live, but unlike animals, they don't eat food, right? So instead they make their own food. A plant prepares its food in its green leaf. Okay, so where a plant prepare its food in the green leaf. Now we have the nutrition. Organisms need energy to live and grow. If we want to live and we want to grow, then we have to gain energy, right? The energy is obtained. This energy is obtained from the food. And the process by which organisms take in food utilizes it to carry out the different life processes is called nutrition. So what is nutrition? It is a process in which animals, they take in food and they use it to carry out the various life processes that are happening in their life cycle, right? So basically there are two modes of nutrition. First one is the autotrophic and the second one is a heterotrophic. Okay, see, auto means self and tropic means nourishment. Similarly, hetero means other and tropic means nourishment. That means autotrophic will be that type of nutrition. There will be a self kind of a nutrition, and in a heterotrophic it will be other. That means it will be dependent on someone. So here we'll study autotrophic nutrition is that mode of nutrition where an organism prepares its own food by taking in simple substances present in its surrounding. Okay, so what is autotrophic? It is that mode of nutrition in which animals, they are preparing their own food, and the animals who are preparing their own food, they are known as autotrophs. Okay, and mainly they are the green plants, right? So there we have then photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is a process by which green plants prepare their own food using the carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. This process is photosynthesis, right? And photosynthesis mostly occurs in the leaves of a green plants. Hence, leaves are also known as the food factories of the plant, or we can also say that leaves are also known as the kitchen of the plant, because the food is prepared in the kitchen in our home. So, in the plant, food is prepared in the leaves. So, we can also say that leaves are the kitchen of plant. This is the photosynthesis. You can see a plant. Then we have the sunlight. In this, we have chlorophyll. Then carbon dioxide enters into the stomata. There are tiny pores. Oxygen is released through the stomata. Then food is prepared. Water is absorbed by the roots. Okay. Then we'll study about the various elements. First one was the carbon dioxide. That means CO2, carbon dioxide. Carbon, one molecule of carbon, one atom of carbon, and two atoms of oxygen. Right. So it enters the leaves through the stomata. So carbon dioxide, it is entering the leaf in the stomata, and stomata are the minute openings that are present mostly on under surface of leaves. Each stomata is bounded by two bean-shaped cells. These are the bean-shaped, they are known as the guard cells, right? The guard cells, they control the opening and the closing of stomata. This was the first. Then the second one is the water. So where are we going to get the water from? It is absorbed from the soil through the roots and is transported to the leaves through the stem. Chlorophyll is a green pigment found in the leaves of plants, and it traps sunlight. Then we have the products of photosynthesis that we are going to get. This is the carbon dioxide, this is the water. In presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, we are going to get a glucose and oxygen. That means O2. Tick. So glucose is the food prepared. The food that is prepared by the green, that is the glucose. So excess glucose is stored. If we are having the excess glucose, that will be stored in the different parts, like in the seeds, in the stem, in the roots, or in the leaves. So it is usually stored in the form of starch, and the food is consumed by animals. Then the next product was the oxygen. So it is released during photosynthesis. This oxygen is released into the atmosphere through stomata, and this oxygen is very essential for the survival of living organisms. Then this is the equation that is the carbon dioxide plus water in presence of sunlight, chlorophyll gives glucose and oxygen. So the left hand side, they are the reactants and these are the products. Then we have the heterotrophic nutrition in plants. First we studied about the autotrophic, in which they are preparing their own food. Now we have the heterotrophic, in which the organisms, they are dependent upon other organisms. First is animals are unable to prepare their own food as well as non-green plants because they don't have chlorophyll. So we know that the animals, they can't prepare their own food because they don't have chlorophyll present, okay, or the non-green plants, they also can't prepare their food. Then the mode of nutrition, in which organisms, they can't prepare their food but they depend on other things, other animals for their food requirement. They are the heterotrophic nutrition, and such organisms, they are known as heterotrophs. Now we have the different types of heterotrophic nutrition. First one is a parasitic, then we have the insectivorous, then the saprophytic, and then the symbiotic. Then the parasitic nutrition is parasitic plants, they undergo this parasitic nutrition. So parasitic plants are plants that obtain their nutrients from other plants called its host. So what the parasitic plant do, it absorbs, it obtains its nutrients from other plants in which it's staying. So the animal from where it's gaining its nutrients, they are known as a host. So in this mode of nutrition, only parasites get benefited. So what is this? Only the parasite which is obtaining its food or nutrient from the host, only the parasite is being benefited, not the host, right? So the example is dodder or mistletoe grows on trees with its tubular stems, this, okay, coiling around the trunk of branches. It prepared food from plants on which it grows, okay. Then we have the insectivorous plants, So the insectivorous plants are the plants that obtain nutrients from animals such as insects, spiders, and frogs. They are green plants that grow in soil that lack nutrients such as nitrogen. So these plants obtain their nutrients by trapping insects with modified leaves and digest the prey by the digestive juice secreted inside the plants, okay. Then we have the example is the Venus flytrap, has a snap trap which is formed by two leaf blades which are hinged. When an insect lands on the leaf, it snaps shut, trapping the insect, and the overlapping teeth-like structure prevent the insect from escaping. Then the second one is a pitcher plant. The leaf blade is modified into a long tubular pitcher to form a pitfall trap with sticky liquid in this inside. When an insect enters its pitcher, it draws into these digestive enzymes at the bottom. Then we have the saprophytic plants. So saprophytic plants, they are the rotten plants. Sapro means rotten, are those non-green plants that derive their nutrients from dead and decaying organic matter, and these nutrients are then absorbed by the plants. Then we have this example. This Indian pipe is a waxy white plant which grows 4 to 10 inches tall. It has leaves and flowers which lacks chlorophyll. It is normally seen growing in the shady woods on decaying plant matter. Then we have some more examples like the fungi show saprophytic nutrients, or the bread mold and the mushrooms. They also show they are also saprophytic plant. That means they show the saprophytic type of nutrition. Then we have the symbiotic plants. So unlike the parasites, some plants mutually benefit. So what is the difference between parasitic and symbiotic? In the parasitic, only this parasite is being benefited, but in case of the symbiotic, both are being benefited, okay. So such plants are called symbiotic plants, and the association between them is the symbiosis. For example, lichens are examples of symbiotic association between fungi and algae. The fungi, being non-green, provide shelter to the algae and also absorb water and nutrients, and the algae, being green, prepare food for the fungi in return. In this, both are being benefited. So there is one more example like the rhizobium bacteria, okay. So these bacteria live in the tiny swelling on the root called the root nodules. The rhizobium help to convert the atmospheric nitrogen into the soluble form that can be used by the plant to prepare proteins, and in return the plant provides shelter and nutrient to the bacteria. Then we have the replenishment of nutrients in the soil. So plants require nutrients such as carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and so on. They get carbon and oxygen from the air and hydrogen from water, and all of the nutrients, they are absorbed from the soil. And one of the most essential nutrients absorbed from the soil is nitrogen, and due to this the amount of nitrogen in the soil gets depleted. Thus nitrogen needs to be added from time to time in order to replenish the soil. So how is that going to be done? This is done by planting plants like beans and peas alternately with other crops, because the rhizobium present in such these plants, they convert atmospheric nitrogen into the water soluble form that is absorbed by the plants along with water. And one more way is by adding manures and fertilizers which contain nitrogen into the soil. So in this way the replenishment can be done. So this is the basic, this crux what we have studied, the nutrition, then the two modes, the auto and the hetero. So in the auto we have the photosynthesis, in which carbon dioxide and this oxygen, they are reacting and glucose and oxygen is being formed, and this is process is being taken in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Then we have the heterotropy, in which we have studied about 4, that is the parasitic, the symbiotic, the saprophytic and the insectivorous. And that's all for this chapter.